Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Joe Badon, the director of The Blood of the Dinosaurs, which is a very crazy short film.
Thank you. Thank
which
you
is a positive as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Yes.
Thanks for doing this. So
it's an honor.
It's a weird movie to ask, or short to ask like what it's about, because it's something I think you should just go in and check it out.
Yeah, I try to give the people just like, it's a demented children's show with your host Uncle Bobbo basically teaching you where oil comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
education.
I like to just leave it there, you know.
It's weird because I know you on Facebook, and I actually used to think you were Uncle Bobbo, because that's what your display picture usually is.
Yes, that's one of my many faces.
Mm-hmm. It's very exciting. It's playing Fantasia Fest, which I believe starts tomorrow when we're recording this, but your film will be playing on the 19th.
Yes, I'm actually flying over there to
cool
to be there for it. So like a bunch of the my crew got together and paid for my plane ticket. So I was like, okay, I better do this.
Yeah.
I hate flying, but I'm gonna do it.
Oh, do you hate flying in general, or just now?
I just like it's scary. It's so hate like leaving my family and all that sort of stuff. All that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, just think that this big metal thing flying through the air, it's all, flying with the blood of the dinosaurs.
That's right.
Make you feel a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, because then irony will set in somewhere upon the trip. Yes.
So, I haven't flown since the pandemic, so it's been a few years, I guess.
Yeah. Where did I go? I went somewhere. God, I don't even remember. Anyway.
Have you been to Fantasia Fest before?
No, I've been outside of the country once, very long ago in another life. But so I've never been. So I am very excited.
Yeah, it's a huge festival. And are you gonna it goes on for like 3 weeks, so I don't know if you're gonna stay for the whole thing, but you're gonna see some other films while you're there?
Yeah, basically I'm flying in, I'm staying for the day, in the night, of course. So I'm gonna watch as many as I can that day, and then basically fly out the next day afterwards. It's a very quick trip.
Have you seen Blood of the Dinosaurs with a crowd before?
Yeah, we did like cast and crew private screening. So like we left it kind of like privately open just to see, if any other people might wander in.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. So, but it was mainly cast and crew, and that was my only time we've really watched it with a group.
Yeah, that's going to be fun then to watch. Or I don't know if fun is the right word. It could be nerve wracking. What do you predict the experience will be like?
Oh God, I'm going to be totally nerve wracked. Yes, I just like whenever. I just pace around a lot of the times if I'm in that kind of a moment. I do either one of two things. I either sit all the way in the front so I don't see anyone else's reaction, or I sit all the way in the back and I like nervously watch everyone's reaction really weirdly. So yeah, I'm always weird with that shit.
Yeah. Now, I've had a short film play at festivals before. It is a very odd experience.
Yeah,
because it's both exciting, and it is also especially the first time I watched I've only had one, so at the premiere it was I didn't know how to feel, because I was like, oh, everyone's gonna hate this. And
yeah, well, it's funny because I make my films with as much gusto and like hubris as I can, like just like I'm gonna fucking do this, I don't care if anyone even likes it, I'm doing it because I like it, and I'm just like really like singular visioned, and as soon as it's finished I'm like, oh God, I hope people like it.
But I appreciate that, because watching lots of screeners over the years, to me, like the worst kind of movie is a movie that you could tell someone just made something because like they had money to make a movie, and there's
Right.
really like no passion in it, or it doesn't
Right.
seem
Or
like really anyone's having a good time or anything.
you can feel that they're scared to like go a little further. And I felt scared with God Inside My Ear when I did that film. I really was trying to make sure I was making something I thought was palatable.
Mhm.
And in the end it wasn't. And I should have just really just gone, deeper into my own creativity instead of questioning my creativity. And
That's
so,
interesting because I noticed, you made features. I think you made the two features first before the
right.
shorts, and usually most like filmmakers, I know it's reverse of that. So in a way, do you think you should have maybe did the short, not necessarily these movies, but made shorts first before going into the
Of
feature?
course. Yes. But I'm hard-headed. And
There you go. Yeah.
that's all it is. I have major OCD and I'm very hard-headed and I'm very pushy. And so I'm like, I don't care what other people say. I'm gonna do what I want. And then afterwards, I'm like, no, they were right. I was wrong. So I
That's
admit it.
it's a
So
weird question, but like I don't even know how to phrase it, but what is the reason behind like I'm gonna make a short now? Like what do you hope to accomplish by making a short?
because okay, the reason is because with the first feature, I made it because I wasn't even gonna make another movie. I just wanted to make a movie
Mhm.
and just feel like I did it. And so after I did it, I was like, hey, I feel like I'm pretty good at this. I found a group of guys and girls and that it works. Like we all gel together. This worked really well. So I'm like, let's do it again. And I never really it's hard for me to write short form.
Mhm.
It's really hard. Okay.
Is that just
So
because to have like a story arc, within like a certain amount of time?
I just have too many ideas.
Well,
That-
there is a lot of ideas in the Blood of the Dinosaurs.
that's all it is. I like for Blood of the Dinosaurs, for instance, this came out of my cinematographer Daniel Waghorn said, I'm going to give I'm going to invest 20, like $2,500. Like, let's do this short film, right? And I wrote a 40-page script, which was the Wheel of Heaven. And so then the Blood of the Dinosaurs was basically the first chapter. That was a nice little prologue. And so yeah, like I don't know how to write short form.
I
Right
was
there.
gonna I was even asking because you said you wrote a script for this. Because when I'm watching, I'm just even wondering how like a script comes about for a movie like Blood of the Dinosaurs. Like if it was a traditional script, if you storyboard it, if some of it just comes together in the editing, like what's the process there?
So
Because a lot of it is visuals, and
right,
it's
yes.
not necessarily like there is dialogue obviously, but
Blood of the Dinosaurs is basically so Wheel of Heaven is the next like mini series that Blood of the Dinosaurs is prologue to, right?
Mhm.
So what I do is I work on scripts like I work like a song, okay? And I used to do music for a long time, and the way I would build a song was I would have first a verse chorus, right? And then I would add a verse chorus bridge. And then I would add verse chorus bridge, pre chorus. I would start adding and adding and adding from just this little verse and chorus. I would keep building, building, building. And then I would add an intro and an outro. And I'm doing the exact same building on scripts. So I had this very little short story. That's the Wheel of Heaven. And then I kept building, 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 just little ideas off of it and layering the script over and over and over. And then I made an intro, which is the Blood of the Dinosaurs, and I made an outro, which is the end of the movie. So that's how it came about. It came about after I wrote Wheel of Heaven, and I basically created this intro that's an essay about what the heart of Wheel of Heaven is about.
Interesting. So
So
how long is Wheel of Heaven? Is it also short, or is it a few?
well so it's like a 40-page script, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because I kept adding more in production to it, it's now become like a 60 to 70 minute film. So what we've done is now just broken it up into an episodic, and now it'll be 3 or 4 chapters, 3 or 4 episode like mini series.
Interesting. And then
And
I just wonder how you release something like that. Well, if each one will be at your hopes at a festival, and then like will they all be together in some format, or
no, we'll release it all together through the festivals. So we'll release it through we will submit it to the episodic segment of festivals, and not all of them, but a lot of them will ask for the entire mini series.
right.
They don't want to just do one episode. So that's what we'll do. We'll just submit it. Basically, what I've done is this: I've tried submitting through festivals through features. Now I'm just submitting through festivals with a short, and now I'm going to submit through festivals through episodic. So it's all kind of like
got all the bases covered. Yeah.
Yeah, trying
You
different
can send in
things.
all the behind the scenes footage as a documentary.
Yeah. Well, and you right, exactly.
Well, it's there's some of that in Blood of the Dinosaurs now that I mentioned
Right.
that. Yeah, which is
Yes.
really it's
And we're
very
doing the
creative.
same thing in Wheel of Heaven too.
Mhm.
So Wheel of Heaven, while we were right before production, during pre-production, I decided let's get as much behind the scenes footage as possible, and we're actually weaving the behind the scenes footage into the story in post-production.
Mhm.
So it's just because I have an OCD brain that needs to just continually like turn the screw. So I'm like, how many more ideas can I layer on top of this?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Watching it made me want to see a Wheel of Heaven and also your previous work.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm very proud of everything we've done so far. I feel like Sister Tempest is a great film to check out. It's on Vimeo for rent, and you can buy it on DVD and Blu-ray. But I'm really proud of that. What we did with $30,000 and 2 hour like fucking epic fantasy. It's amazing. I'm very proud of everyone involved.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Back about the length of the movie. That is something I like about festivals is they're not so worried about like how long a movie is. I think a story should be as long as it needs to be. Like,
yes.
So that could be 2 minutes or whatever. It could be,
yes,
if it's good, 3 hours or.
Yeah, I will say I've gotten flack about through film festivals about going over 2 hours, which I'm like,
that is the one thing, just because I think it makes it hard to program.
Right. Yeah, completely. It's so I am aware of that, but yeah, I could fill up. Right now I'm writing my next feature, and I think I'm at like 360 pages, and I'm like just cracking a 2/3 of a way through. I'm like, oh God, I need an editor real bad.
Oh, so do you do your own editing personally, or
I have like a little circle of trusted friends, and mainly my like writing partner, Jason Krupa, who basically I write the rough draft and I'll send it to him, and he'll give me notes. He's like my main note guy, and that really has like fine-tuned things, and then he'll rewrite scenes and things like that.
That's I always find interesting or fascinating, editing, because I would think if I was editing my own stuff, I know I would keep more in than you need to, just because I would be personally invested in it. Even just the idea of like being there, maybe it doesn't even work. Also, though, I find it weird that someone else editing something, if you have it all in your how you think it should be, can someone else also see that? It's all
Well, that's why it's more like for me, it's just getting notes from people.
Mhm.
And I try to get notes from like at least around 5 or 6 people at least, And then if a bunch of people say the same thing, then I know that that's what I need to change, and that's just the way I do it.
I probably could have checked the credits, but I have to. Did I see Jim McDonough in?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm a
Yes.
big fan and friend of Jim McDonough.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's like such a sincere guy,
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Doing sincere art.
Yeah. I believe he's even wearing the manicorn robe.
Yeah. His new short about, I think, his grandfather.
Oh, yeah, his dad. Yeah, it's his grandfather.
Oh, or his dad, maybe. It's fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
awesome.
Like one of the best things, honestly, I've ever seen. I think more people need to see that shit.
Yeah, I agree. I saw it at Boston Underground Film Festival, and then I played it during our short festival. Even though ours is called Severed. One of the judges was like, "Why did you play this?" Because it's called Severed Limbs, so it's usually horror stuff. I was like, "Because I think it's great."
Yes, yeah, exactly. Some things just transcend genre,
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about the festivals too. Is it's always annoying to me when people fight about genre, because it'll be like Predators, sci-fi action. It's not horror, or whatever it is. I'm like, I don't care. What difference does it make?
But you know what the problem is that people are scared of going outside of genre,
Right?
Because they're comfortable with those things because they know those things work, and outside of that is like the fear of the unknown. And that's what it is, man. That's all it is. People are scared of being original. I'm not really sure why, but then they all criticize everybody for
they want
unoriginality.
things original, but then if there is something weird, they're like, oh, they tried too hard, or it doesn't. Like you said, it's weird. Yeah,
it's very strange.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Does that ever come up though? Because what kind of festivals? Obviously, Fantasia works, or something that is underground in the title. They usually take any kind of thing weird. But is that hard to know what festivals to to send your movie to? Like, does it fit in a horror festival? Does it fit in?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, completely. But I've always felt like I've done music. I did music for a long time, and then I did comic books for a long time. I was in the ministry of Christianity for a long time. Like, I've lived a lot of lives because I'm an old man at this point. But now I'm doing, absurdist whatever this is, and that's the problem. I'm taking from all of my past experiences, comic books, and my spiritual life that has changed immensely since then, and then taken from my love of sci-fi when I was a child, and my love of surrealism now that has only been I've really only fostered since I've gotten out of the church and allowed myself to grow as a person, which has only been like 8 years or 9 years. Oh God. And I think that that's why I'm so excited about like 70s French new wave and shit, because everybody else is like, oh yeah, of course we all know about that shit. I'm like, I don't love it. And so I'm like ready to celebrate the lowbrow, the highbrow, the weird, the normal, everything.
Yeah,
I think because I might have multiple personality or something. But
I can see both sides of that. The idea of like, oh, I missed out on all this stuff. I wasn't allowed, or I didn't let myself watch it. But then you have all this, it's all new to you. So you can watch it all, The last few years I started listening to audiobooks because I never read a lot of like classic horror, and it's great because I'm catching up on like all the King books I've never read and all these things, and it's very exciting.
I'm actually right there with you. I hate reading. I've always had a problem with like reading the same sentence over and over and over. It's like just a weird thing I do. And so it's always been a hard time finishing books and stuff. And audiobooks, I'm like, I listened to Dracula a couple years ago.
Yeah, I did too.
I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever read. Listened to in my life.
Yeah, I do catch myself sometimes on Facebook. I'll be talking about some like book like Dracula or something that's like 30 or 40 years old, like it's some brand new thing. And I'm just like, what do people think? Like, yeah, we all know this is good. We all know,
But
but
it's great. I love that. I love that attitude of discovery. And
yeah.
so I'm constantly trying to find new ideas and new ways to create, new ways to tell stories. I'm like always excited with a new idea.
Dracula, like that's a good one to bring up because it's not a traditional linear story. It's a very,
Right.
storytelling for a
Yeah,
book.
the whole idea of just it's all written in letters, which is fucking amazing.
Mhm.
Like that, like very rare that shit. And then it's all out of order. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird that it's so, it's, you see people had creativity even back, years ago and to do something completely different.
Well, what's funny, like, is well, the birth of Dracula, right? It's it's created a whole genre when it should have sprung board more Draculas, more ideas, more mythologies. Like fucking what Mary Shelley, just getting together and like doing a bunch of drugs and like having fucking crazy dreams and creating Frankenstein,
Mm-hmm.
and then it becomes like just copied instead of going like, huh, what did she do? I'd like to tap into that and create another mythology.
Right.
That's what we should all be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
No,
sorry.
I totally agree because there's like a few things. You have zombies, you have vampires, you have werewolves, and
Right. And
like
then
those are
it's
all
like,
cool.
hey,
But
we're gonna make a musical zombie movie. But
right,
oh my god, this is all new and weird. Like, come on, man, give me a fucking break.
right.
And then it goes to Fantastic Fest. Go fuck yourself. Like, really? Come on, like do something new and different. Let's not mash up Glee and zombies. Anyway.
Yeah,
Whew.
I agree.
Anyway, I'm talking.
But then I always think too, there's probably even other legends that people that have been around for a long time that instead of always going to the same ones, I'm sure there's stuff that no one talks about a lot. Go look these things up and
Right.
read about
Yes.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. Complete. What's that one? It's like it's an Asian myth. It's like the woman just decapitated head with her organs hanging out and she just fucking flies around. That's crazy shit.
Yeah, write that up. Yeah. Make it modern or make it old.
Right.
And yeah, do it up.
Anyway.
Yeah. Instead of like, how do I reinvent the zombie? Yeah.
Right.
And I
Yes.
grew up loving zombie movies, but it after a while it's like, oh, I've
Well, and it's brilliant whenever somebody can actually do something new with a zombie movie that's good. It's just like, oh yeah, well that's like masterful storytelling,
yeah.
because it's like doing another crime drama, TV show. It's like it's gonna have to be a mind hunter, because if not, it's like the only
Right.
thing that'll save it is Vincent D'Onofrio at this point.
Yeah. Do you have any modern zombie movies that do stand out?
Oh, I enjoyed the one cut of the Above the
Oh
Dead.
yeah, yeah. I saw the
Because
sequel to that's playing Fantasia Fest.
oh, nice. Yeah, it worked. It was a fun
I
movie.
remember
Yeah.
do you know Michael Epstein? Are you friends with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
yes,
he
yes.
kept telling me, he's like, just watch it. Like the first hour, you'll be wondering why you're, but then the last half hour, or last 15
Yeah.
minutes, you love it. I was like,
It pays off.
yeah,
Like you're like, okay, and then it works. It works really well.
yeah,
Yeah.
really unique movie.
Yeah.
By the way, you're not Uncle Bobbo. It's Vincent Stalbo.
No, but we look the same.
Yeah, he's very cool. He's perfect for this
God,
character.
the coolest fucking dude in the world. So dedicated to what he's doing. He like found God Inside My Ear, on like Amazon Prime, and then reached out to me and he's like, I love the movie. I want to be in what you're doing next. And we had already shot Sister Tempest. So when we were doing Blood of the Dinosaurs, he was, he tried out for it and he really reinvented that role into that character. Because I had the character a little more like sloppy and sweaty and
Really? So yeah, completely different.
yeah, it was a little more like bumbly, and this was so more like Norman Bates. It was just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
does that not so his performance change how you saw that character? Does that change how you like the finished film, like when you're editing it, or?
oh yeah, of course, yes, totally. Like the whole all the scenes with him are much more quiet and just spaced out, and just because the creepiness, he just has to stare in the camera. He's so damn creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the other way would have been edited a lot more like zany and funky sounds and cartoon noises, and this was just more unsettling. And you know, like while we were shooting it, my cinematographer Daniel Waghorn, he came up with the scene where Uncle Bobbo basically rips a child apart and is in his like weird dungeon. That was all Daniel just on the spot because of Vincent's performance, you know. So yeah, it definitely informed everything, but we did.
The like his set where the show is, there's where did you film that? Because it looks like it's lived in. There's so many like things around.
Yeah, that's Sideshow Props. It was in Slidell, Louisiana, where I live, but it just moved to Chalmette, Louisiana. So I got to give that dude a plug. Lawrence is incredible. He is really like being like just been on board with what we're doing. He's a
Oh, so
great
you're in
dude.
Louisiana. A lot of people think that, if you're going to make stuff, you have to be in LA or maybe New York or Atlanta. But I always think it's cool. Like anyone who wants to start making stuff, you could probably find like a group of people wherever you are. There's got to be a
Honestly,
film community
you
wherever you
will
are.
have a much better chance of making a movie outside of those places. Um, because of all the taxes, you can't just run and gun guerrilla style make a movie. You can't walk into any place and say, "Hey, can we do this for free?" No one will do that for you in LA. Like they're all trying to make a buck off of you, and all the cops are watching you. You go anywhere else, and they're excited to make a movie with you. They want to help you. Everybody is on board. Cops don't care. You know, it's great. It's like so much cheaper. So
Um, were you doing the music when you were still like a spiritual in like the church and stuff? Or I don't know
yes,
what kind of music
absolutely.
you were doing.
Well, in high school and college, college age. I mean, I went to college for a second. Um, I was doing like jazz, speed metal, punk, weird fusion shit. Really into John Zorn, which is an old uh, jazz composer. Not old, but he's from like mainly from the 90s, but he still does stuff all the time. But he did this stuff that only I can only call genre hopping. But he would, like, for instance, the song that kind of sums him up is this song called Speed Freaks. And in 1 minute, he goes through 30 different styles of music. So every 2 seconds, he's changing styles. And it's fucking wild. And I really connected to the way he created back then. And that's what I tried to emulate. Listen to a lot of stuff like Mr. Bungle and the Boredoms and lots of weird jazz punk shit. And then I got saved. I burned all my shit. I started, just getting into worship music and actually lots of weird Christian bands like Danielson and Soul Junk and Javelina Railco and all these bands that were doing weird shit in the Christian music. And I wrote tons of Christian music, tons of Christian worship music that you can find out there if you dig enough around. So
Interesting.
yeah, and then I got out of that and kind of realized I was in a cult and deprogrammed myself, and then started doing art full time. Selling art in New Orleans, mainly pop culture stuff like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Creature from the Black Lagoon and just any kind of shit like that. And I still do that. Actually, that's how I make a living. But then turned around 40. Right before I turned 40, I decided I needed to make a movie. So got inside my ear and I've been bothering my family and friends making movies
Yeah,
ever since.
yeah.
So,
So when you were saved, I don't know, were your family into that when you were into the church? Are they into your movies now?
yeah, I mean, my family's always been very supportive. You know, my mom's very conservative, and my dad's extremely liberal. And they've supported me no matter what I've done.
That's good. Yeah.
For good, for better or worse, they've just been amazing parents. And then my wife, we have gone through church and out of church and all the different forms of beliefs and thoughts and ideas. We've stayed together through all of it. And it's been incredible to have a lifelong partner like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
The Wheel of Heaven, is it a spiritual movie? I mean, it's got heaven in the title. I don't know.
absolutely. But it's all wrapped up in aliens and Catholicism and just, I'm trying to make my own mythologies now, out of all the things that I've been fed myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to create something new out of it. Uh, my own belief systems, maybe in a weird way,
Yeah.
So
So when you decide to, like, I want to make a movie, did you go to film school? I know you were doing music and stuff, or was it? Most of the friends I have,
I
did.
I went to UNO, University of New Orleans, for film. I went for one semester. I didn't do a single film class. I was like, this is stupid. I got to go for like 2 more years before I do anything. This is dumb. And I just left. And me and my wife got married and we had kids and just been working shitty jobs for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
But I just always just been a fan of cinema. I haven't had any sort of artistic or cinematic or any sort of instruction in anything. I don't know what the terms are. Everything is pans and zooms and dollies. I don't know what any of those fucking terms are. I've tried, but
Right.
I'm old and I just don't even remember shit anymore. I'm just happy that I know where to go half the time.
I mean, honestly, I know a lot of independent filmmakers, and very few of them, for modern ones, went to film school. A lot of them
Right.
tell me they learned, from listening to commentary tracks and watching, like,
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
or being on sets.
I so for With God Inside My Ear, I read about half of the Angry Filmmaker's Guide to Filmmaking and felt like, okay, I got enough information. I wrote a script basically on a Word document and sent it to cinematographer Daniel, who I found on Facebook, just a Facebook friend. And the biggest thing is just writing the script, and I draw all the storyboards. I mean, I worked with well, here's another thing too, was that I was a storyboard artist for like 10 years. Well, 5 out of the 10 years. I also was a comic book artist for 10 years, but I was a storyboard artist for about 5 of those years. And so I sat down and I worked with directors, like in storyboarded commercials and features and shorts and all that sort of shit. So I did learn the language of telling a story through comics and storyboarding with directors.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, I can kind of see that in Blood of the Dinosaurs because it's very visual, obviously.
yeah.
And there's a lot of stock footage. There's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, I was trying to make it like an anthology in a way of just weird shorts that all kind of have the similar themes. Um, so it's not really telling a traditional narrative, but
Right.
I still want everybody to feel like they're on a ride,
Mhm.
that they're going somewhere.
And
Uh,
I watch at home, obviously, but it would be something cool to see on the big screen because then something about the big screen, you can't look away. You're stuck there, and everything's.
yeah, and I think audience reactions and things,
Yeah.
it becomes more of a communal experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for anything weird or horror or
Yes.
comedy. Because you have a physical, if you're watching a drama together, I guess you're just all sit around and cry together. It's not really the same, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Although I say, man, I went and saw uh Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, I think that's one of the best movies of the year.
God, I've seen it 3 times.
I saw it twice. I saw it, and then I told my friend Annabelle, I was like, you should see it. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, with like 3 different crowds, and every time everyone is just bawling and laughing and crying, and just it's an emotional
That's
roller
like
coaster.
for people watching this who like the weird festivals, that's like a big festival movie because it
Yeah,
fits in like every genre. It's
yeah,
like martial arts and science fiction, and
yeah,
it's I wouldn't, know how to classify it, but
yeah. And it's funny is watching the movie. It feels a lot like what we're doing with Wheel of Heaven. I'm not trying to compare it like it's as good as that, because that movie's incredible, but compare it to like the style of genre. It's like genre hopping movie,
yeah. And a
and
lot of heart too. It's a
oh god, so much heart.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty freaking brilliant. It's a
And way
brilliant.
way better multiverse movie than the giant movies that are out there. But I am glad it did well because I think it played a long time at the fest. I think it's still playing at the theater near me.
Yeah, it's playing. Yeah, it's doing very, very well. So anyway,
But yeah, I'm glad you brought it up though. I think that's a great movie.
yeah.
Oh, so when I was watching Blood of the Dinosaurs, there's a part with Born Hub pops up, and I actually thought I hit something on my computer, and like I started going to, I was like, oh no, I went off the screen.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm trying to like kind of play around with just like when you a fun old movie would be like Gremlins 2, right? And you're watching the movie, and then the film melts, and then now all of a sudden you got Hulk Hogan yelling at the Gremlins to start the movie again. And that's always been my favorite part, because it's like meta upon meta upon meta. And so you can't really do a film melting anymore. Everybody's gonna be like, okay, yeah, we get it. And
Right.
so yeah, but like accidentally, like your your video turns into a porn like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely
Not
going.
that I have that bookmark, but I was like, whoa, I went off the page and I'm on some website. I don't know what's happening.
Yes, and we're doing that a little bit again with Wheel of Heaven. But what I what I'm trying to do too is, some of my favorite movies are things like the Kentucky Fried Movie, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And those movies that are anthologies. And one thing I'm trying to do is kind of create anthologies that feel like they're going somewhere together. You know, like Heavy Metal kind of did that with the floating ball that kind of goes throughout each story.
Hmm.
And so I love that idea, and I'm trying to create even more cohesiveness and more chaos with with that same idea of doing like anthology storytelling. So I don't even know if I'm making sense, but that's what makes sense in my head.
Yeah. Well, I do think a lot of the modern anthology movies are really a collection of shorts by all other people, and they're kind of stuck together, which that's not saying that's good or bad, but
Right.
but there is something about something that actually there's a connection to it.
Yes. Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm trying to do a hybrid of one narrative, but like all these other little narratives kind of circling around it.
Mhm.
Um
It kind of actually, I don't know if you're a Mr. Show fan, but that was a collection of short comedy sketches, but they also, a lot of the best episodes, I think, all connected. They would go from one to the other.
yeah, I don't know why I still have not watched that
Oh,
show,
really? I love Mr.
but
Show.
I
That's my
need to.
favorite sketch comedy. So
Yeah, I need to. Right now, I'm like really loving Kids in the Hall. And it was like something that I never really watched too much of. So I'm like kind of discovering it, and I'm just like, this is amazing.
yeah, and they just came back recently.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, I'll try out the new season. Like,
Yeah.
this is fucking brilliant. So
Yeah,
like rewatching old seasons now.
yeah. No, it's fun, and that's cool about a modern thing is the binge watching because I mean I've watched so many series that way that I probably just wouldn't, in previous decades you just would have never seen them, unless
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's
without
incredible.
streaming and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Um, I think some things are even made that way to watch them in a streaming manner, as opposed to like like I don't know, Stranger Things, for example. I guess you could watch it every week an episode, but I think it's really made to just binge watch the whole season at once.
Yeah, no, completely. That's the way they're getting you now, so you can just sit there for hours.
Yeah, and you're like, I'll watch one more episode, and then it ends
Even
up like
though
4 a.m. or something. Yeah.
Oh, my movie's 2 hours and 2 minutes long. That's too long, but you'll sit there and
for like basically a 10 or 12-hour movie. Yeah.
Yes. Well, see, that's why I'm kind of trying out this idea where it's all these like kind of small snippets of things, because our attention span is just being lost. Mine is too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to just create almost like modular storytelling where, like with Blood of the Dinosaurs, you could kind of put that in any fashion, in any order, and it would still work, because you could tell that story in any kind of way, because it's not really a linear story.
Yeah. It's interesting because that comes up a lot about people's attention span. So you have stuff like TikTok that's super quick and stuff. But then also like long form interviews are also very popular. Like Joe Rogan's the biggest podcast, and that's like hours long. So it's very weird. It's kind of
very strange. It's like we have programmed ourselves to what we can tolerate and what we can't, which is very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do like that things in general is no set format where it's just as long as it needs to be.
Yes.
Where it used to be every movie had to be 90 minutes or every
it's great. Well, like the new Stranger Things, like some of those episodes are 2.5 hours long or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a strange time in creative history with film, because it's really moved over. The freedom is more in episodic storytelling too, and in features that are going to the theaters. It's still like these like pearl purse hugging little grannies that are like, oh no, it can only be Marvel movies or maybe Blumhouse and A24. I guess they're okay, but nothing else. Okay, A24 is too much. It's very strange.
Yeah, I go to the movies every week, but
yeah, I do too.
That's a lot of the sometimes I will be the only one in the movie. So
yeah, I do that Tuesday $5 movie day.
Yeah, I do the AMC Stub Club, so it's 3 movies a week for $20 for the month. So
that's amazing.
It's very cool because I'll see movies that I probably would just never see. I'm like, well, I got 3 movies, I'm gonna see them.
Right.
And I'll see this, and if it's no good, who cares? It's just a bad movie. I don't care. And if it's great, and it's like, oh, this is cool. I didn't expect this to be very good.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But sometimes it's like, oh, I'll give Cats a chance, and I was like, oh, that I didn't need to see Cats.
But it's something strange, man. Yeah.
Hopefully they put out the butthole cut at some point. But it would be perfect for midnight movies, I think.
Yeah. Yes, it would.
Yeah. They did play the regular version. I guess they're trying to get it to be like a popular midnight movie. They were playing it at a theater near me.
I just don't. I think they should just let it die.
Yeah, it's not. It's just bad. It's just a bad.
Yes, just bury it next to the ET video game cartridges.
Exactly.
Just go away.
Yeah. So when you start discovering a lot of these weird movies, what are some of your favorites?
I'm gonna give you some of my favorites. You ready for this?
I am very ready. Do you have a list right there ready for me?
We got to get a list out. You got to warn me.
I like that you just keep a list handy.
Yes. All right, I'm coming. Let's see. I got my very favorites. Okay, I'll give you some, because I can give you just my very favorites, but I'm going to give you some that I want more people to see.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Samurai Ronnie. It came out in 2016. It's Rauni. That movie is near damn perfect. It's like a Finnish samurai film, and it's just beautiful. It's beautifully shot. I don't see anything wrong with it in like no one seems to be talking about it.
No, I've not seen it myself, so that's interesting.
It's just fucking incredible. Okay. I mean, there's some of them that I know people have seen, like Holy Mountain. Love that film. Annette. Have you seen Annette, the Adam
Yeah, I've
Driver
not
movie?
seen it yet.
Oh my God. I think I watched that movie like 10 times recently. It's just
I'm gonna write this down here.
it's just incredible. That movie, it's weird. I haven't seen many movies that I feel like are made by aliens. And that's the way Annette feels.
Interesting.
It's just such an otherworldly feel to it. Incredible.
Weird. I wore this shirt. I thought it was fitting for the interview, and it's a like UFOs coming down and making the Sphinx and the pyramid. So
It's very fitting. Yes. Have you seen The Devils by
Oh yeah. The Russell was
Ken Russell movie?
Yeah.
Oh, all
Great
right.
movie.
The Devils. Okay, I'll give you a few more. True Stories by David Byrne. That movie is like one of those movies that's just perfect. It's just a perfect film. All right, I'm gonna give you one more.
He's actually, in a way, actually got me banned. I'm currently suspended for 30 days from Facebook, and it's because I quoted burning down the house from Talking Heads, and Facebook said I was inciting violence.
Oh my
and
God.
They suspended me for 30 days.
Oh my God.
See, all these things are tying in.
Okay, real quick. Crime Wave, The Big Crime Wave, but by John Paez, not Crime Wave by Sam Raimi. Big Crime Wave is an amazing film from the 80s. Jane B. What is it? Jane B by Agnes V. Incredible film. It's just like this. Agnes Varda does this biopic on Jane Birkin, and it's just wildly freeing and beautiful, and it's just a birthday present to Jane Birkin, and I just cry watching it. It's just beautiful. But anyway, those are some.
Oh, that's very cool.
Those are random ones.
Yeah.
Jesus Shows You the Way of the Highway is like one of the best films I've seen in a long time. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a Estonian Afro futuristic Afro punk movie, and it's so fucking cool, so weird.
That's another thing. Modern day, it makes it's a lot more accessible to see a lot of international films.
Yeah, incredible. It's and now everyone's like taking ideas from one another and showing off to one another and making these movies on like no budgets and like those. Yeah, it's just incredible. Anyway,
so I was just thinking of something while we're just right now, because I like the cover art for Blood of the Dinosaurs and the Wheel of Heaven. And did you do this on purpose? Because the Blood of the Dinosaurs is like a children's, a very little kids book, like the golden, but and then Wheel of Heaven, which you said it's a prequel to Wheel of Heaven. Wheel of Heaven's more like a teenage book, the Choose Your Own Adventure book, or like a young adult book. So it's like age appropriate, like they're a little bit older.
Let's say we did. Let's say I did,
yeah,
and I meant to do it. That sounds like a good answer.
Run with it. If you did or you didn't, I would say run with it.
I love that idea. That's a great, yes, I did do that on purpose.
Then the last part will just be like an Encyclopedia Britannica cover or something. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I love that. Love that.
Which I guess they don't make encyclopedias anymore since we have the internet, but
or it's just a romance novel or something.
Yeah, well, that could be the middle one. Or I like it, but no, I not just because you're here. I really love the Blood of the Dinosaurs. I like anytime I see something that's weird and unique, and it kept me interested. And I always good stuff. Yeah,
thank you so much.
And I loved is it Something Universe, the puppet guy?
Yeah, Grandpa Universe.
He's great.
Yeah, he makes his appearance in Wheel of Heaven as well.
Oh, he does. Oh, that's very exciting.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's all part of the global conspiracy against purity. So he keeps going.
I would wear a Grandpa Universe shirt.
Right.
Yeah,
Have a whole Grandpa Universe show. So I would love to pitch Uncle Bobbo as his own little Adult Swim show, because that right there I could do over and over very easily.
Yeah.
You know,
that's another thing too. Adult Swim, like their shows are, some of them are like 10 minutes, and there's no like exact time that they run.
Yeah, this was definitely heavily influenced by some Adult Swim watching too.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, there's one show called Off the Air that is just a wild collection of just clips and nonsense, and love that show. And I always keep that show like in the back of my head while I'm writing, So
very cool. So again, the Blood of the Dinosaurs is gonna play. It's playing in the Cavalcade of Perversions, which is a great name for a block of shorts.
Stupid. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, at the Fantasia Fest, and on the 19th, so coming up real soon. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll go up there and hopefully I can high five somebody that'll like hand me money.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good plan. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds like, no, I'm sure that'd be a great time. And for people, they should go to Fantasia, but for some reason they can't. Down the line, where will they be able to see Blood of the Dinosaurs?
Yeah, so we're going to eventually release it. I mean, I say this, we're going to try to hit distributors of some sort, like either a channel that might be like, oh yeah, we'll put on a mini series, because it would be connected to Wheel of Heaven eventually. But yeah, if nobody picks it up, which is completely likely because that's the way things work, it will definitely be available online through like YouTube or Tubi or something that would allow us to like put it on, because we can just ask to put it on instead of like a gatekeeper,
Right. But that's a good thing too. It used to be like I'd see a cool short at a festival, and then you never hear of it again or never see it ever, again. That would be it. But now, like, there are platforms,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's like Dust has like some sort of little short film showcase, and a Shudder, I think, has some sort of little short film showcase. This doesn't really fit any sort of short film showcase, so we'll see what happens.
I tend to like things that don't fit anywhere.
Yeah,
like myself, or probably like everyone watching this, I guess. So yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yeah. This has been great. I really enjoyed talking with you. How can people follow you, by the way? Not to your home, but like online. So you're unless you want them to follow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could if they want to, but yeah, I'm on Facebook. If you look up Joe Badon, Badon, and also I have an art page, so Joe Badon Art on Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me, Joe Badon Art, on Instagram. And then most, like, Wheel of Heaven and Sister Tempest and God Inside My Ear have Facebook pages if you search for them. And Sister Tempest has a Instagram page and a Twitter page. And Twitter likes to confuse me with Joe Badon.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So
I was confused for a second too. I prepared for a totally different interview, but
I know. Sorry to disappoint.
I'm pleasantly surprised. But no, it's been very fun, and I would love to do another one sometime.
I would love that. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.